Hey, good morning. It's Tim Patterson, Trade Show Guy. It's a Trade Show Guy Monday morning coffee for July the 10th, it would be. I had the 9th down, but it's actually the 10th. I had to look at the calendar there. 2017. Yes, I'm Tim Patterson, Trade Show Guy. I'm author of the book Trade Show Success, 14 Proven Steps to Take Your Trade Show Marketing to the Next Level. Also blogging at tradeshowguyblog.com. And the thing that takes up most of my time, though, is owner of Trade Show Guy Exhibits. It's a project management exhibit company here in Oregon. We had planned to have a guest this morning. We even tested everything on Friday, and yeah, I know, it didn't work. I couldn't get her camera going. I don't know what the deal was. Everything else worked, but still checking on that. So the laptop was not able to deliver a picture. Everything else got hooked up. It just gave me the little camera icon with a line through it. So yeah, that's why we check out everything ahead of time, because you hate to get on air, as it were, and have things fail, and then you look silly and you don't know what to do. So as a result, I'm going to plan B. I guess, I get to talk about other stuff that's going on in the Trade Show Guy world. I do have a guest scheduled for next week, so we'll see what happens with that one. Again, this will be a fun guest. And we did speak face-to-face on camera a couple of weeks ago, so we know that aspect of it works, so everything else should fall into place. And I'm going camping for a couple of days this week, so we'll see if we can find time to actually get together and check it all out. So what to discuss on today's podcast? Well, I thought it might be worthwhile to take a look at time management. I may have touched on this in a previous podcast, but I spent a couple of hours last week in my weekly sales class. We talked about time management. So I think it might be fun and worthwhile to share some of the stuff that came up. So I think we need to start from the beginning. And, we learned this very young in business, maybe even as a kid, that everybody on this planet has the same amount of time in a day. We got in a year, we got 24 hours, 1,440 minutes, 86,400 seconds. We get a total of 365 days a year, 8,784 hours per year. That's what we get. Now, the years, of course, the number of years we get are limited. And we have all sorts of different things, family, work, kids, commute, and everything that affect and impact our time. Some of us need more sleep than others. I remember as a kid growing up and hearing that John F. Kennedy slept like 4 hours a night, and I think, how does he do that? Well, he made it work. It was what he needed to do, I guess. So, we sleep maybe a third of the day, roughly. We spend time eating and traveling and chatting with friends and coworkers. So we keep cutting into the available time. So, just a moment. I want to grab some of my coffee while I notice my my Facebook Live connection ended. So, but the recording keeps going, so we'll keep going here. Hang on. I'll try and reconnect it in just a second. Even if it doesn't work, that's okay. We'll post the recording later. So how much time do we actually spend working each day? Well, depending on what study you read, in an 8-hour day, we spend anywhere from, an hour and a half to 6 hours doing actual work. And of course, depending on what position we hold, we spend time talking with coworkers, answering personal calls, looking at our, Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, and so on. Actual work, not so much. So if you're spending all of your time working for someone else and you want to accomplish a side hustle or project, you have to find the time to do that. You have to create the time to do it. You can't say, I don't have the time. That's an excuse. I don't have the time. It's like people... It's like when I ran across somebody years ago who said, I don't have the time to I don't know how I don't know how to do social media. I don't have the time to learn. I thought, no, you do have the time. You're just lazy. So that's how I look at it. You can find the time. For example, many years ago, I wrote a movie script. I ended up writing it while I was working all night. I did the news from like 7 p.m. to 4 p.m. This was an hour commute each way. I'd get home around 5 in the morning, and for about 60 to 90 minutes every time I got home, I would write before anyone in the household got up. So I got the time. I found the time. I made it happen. And in I think 5 or 6 months, I had this thing in the shape I wanted it. So that was kind of fun. It was it was a lesson I learned on how to find time to create something you want to create. And I think that's the key, something to remember. The time won't make itself available to you. You have to make the time available to yourself. You have to carve the time out of what's available. Often, there's a partner or a spouse involved and kids involved. You have to negotiate a little to get that time on a regular basis. Often it's said, hey, just get up a half an hour early. Get up 45 minutes earlier. It can be done. I've done it. So it's certainly something to do. One way we discussed was time blocking. This helps manage the time you do have, like making a schedule for each day so that the various tasks fall under a specific time of day. So often what happens is, you have all these things you need to do during a day, and you get to the 4 or 5 o'clock hour if you got a typical 9 to 5 day, and you go, oh man, I didn't get to half the stuff I wanted to because the day got away from me. The day didn't get away from you. You just didn't plan it well. I think that's what it really boils down to. So, for instance, you might block out time. You might do email only from 8 to 9 a.m. or 4 to 5 p.m. so that you're not doing any email. You turn your email program off completely. It takes conscious effort to do this, I understand. But the rest of the day, you're shut out from email and you can do other things. I block some hours out, but not all of them. It seems like years ago, 5, 6, 7 years ago, I tried to block every single hour of every single day out, and it failed miserably. I don't even think I made it through the week because I rebelled against the structure, I guess. I tried to structure a whole week. It didn't work. Right now, though, I do structure some of a day, and some days are more structured than others. For example, I structure Monday mornings right now from 9 to 10 to do this podcast. I produce it. I get it uploaded. Sometimes it takes 90 minutes, and when the video is rendering, and that takes about 20 minutes, depending, because I do a video version and an audio version, I take the dog for a walk. So the dog knows I'm going to do that. So, I'm not fighting with my computer because, when you're rendering a video, it takes a while and it slows everything else down. I thought, well, I should go for a walk with the dog. He wants to go for a walk anyway. So anyway, I do that. Then I have an hour schedule. I'd like to do a newsletter. I do some prospecting. I have another couple of hours prospecting on Tuesday and Wednesday. I spend an hour on Monday and Fridays joining the Shank Minds group when I'm able to do that. That's a mastermind group that I joined last fall. As of a month ago, nothing else was scheduled, but I'm adding in a few more things to see how it goes. For instance, I'm doing some call research in a different time of day instead of during the time I would be prospecting. I thought, I need to move that away so that when I open up that hour to do the prospecting, I know exactly what I'm going to do. So that falls outside the actual prospecting zone that I've scheduled. Some of the items that came up during our discussion of time blocking and time management include the issue of having coworkers interrupt you. Of course, that depends on your work situation, but it is possible that you may work in an office where you or share your office with someone, and people see an open door and they think, door's open, I can come right in and bug you and dump a problem on you, hoping that you can deal with it for them. That sometimes is something you really have to struggle with. So I think one of the issues is we determined on that specific instance, you have to have some kind of upfront agreements with your fellow coworkers about what constitutes an emergency or just an average everyday issue. And you can say, you know what, please don't bother me now or during these hours. Come in if you've got something you want me to look at. Do that between 2 and 4 or 2:30 and 4, something like that. I'm open to you coming in then because I'm going to have other stuff done by then, whatever the case may be. So you're blocking out tasks that involve other people as well. So I think it's really important that you look at your overall schedule, manage your time as well as you can, and that gives you the chance to actually have a better result. So trade show tip of the week. Let's talk about sales follow-up from the trade show. A pretty simple tip, but I think a lot of companies that don't get it done completely and thoroughly because, hey, it's a busy trade show, right? When you are gathering information from a prospect for follow-up, you should know the following: the name of the person, the company, the position, contact information, and what method of contact he or she most prefers, email, phone, whatever. what product or service they're interested in, their level of interest, cool or warm or hot. You got to call them in the next 48 hours. What do they want in terms of product or service samples or follow-up? When do they want it? How do they want it delivered? Where do they want it delivered? So once you get all of this information, you confirm time and place of follow-up and call and what will happen. So don't let them walk away, or don't you walk away until you both have an understanding of what the next step is and it's jotted down so that you know exactly what is going to happen. So if you miss a few of these steps, you can still probably make the contact and possibly make a sale. But if you confirm everything before this person goes, the chances of a successful follow-up are much, much higher. So that's it. That's my trade show tip of the week on sales follow-up. Just cross your T's, dot your I's, and make it as best you can. I want to give you one good thing before I get out of here, and that to me is summer hikes. I do as many summer hikes as I can. Did a nice little one yesterday. Like I say, a little one. It was only a couple of miles. Took my youngest son and one of his friends, and we hiked in the Great Silver Falls State Park, a few miles out of Silverton, Oregon, which is, half an hour, 45 minutes from here in Salem. Very busy at the park, very popular park, but boy, it was kind of a fun hike. There's a lot of falls there you can walk through. One reason I'm trying to go to state parks this year is my mom gave me a year pass for all the state parks. I can go any state park and I can use them for free. That's just kind of cool. Well, I can park there. I can't camp there. So we had a good time. Great way to spend a couple of hours indeed. So that's it. Wraps up our Trade Show Guy Monday Morning Coffee for July 10th, 2017. Have yourself a great week.